If you're struggling with imposter syndrome in some part of your life, I've got good news and I've got bad news. The bad news is that you could very well be an imposter. But the good news is there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Imposter syndrome holds a lot of us back. Whether you just started a new job, you're making videos or some other kind of content on the internet, or some other life change, it's pretty common. Harvard Business Review did a study that showed almost 70% of people sometimes feel like they're an imposter, so you're in good company. In this video, I'm going to talk about why I think being an imposter isn't necessarily a bad thing, and how you can avoid some of the problems that it can cause sometimes. I felt like an imposter more times than I like to admit. New jobs, becoming a new parent, starting a business, and a ton of other things. Almost every major transition that I've had in my life was followed by feeling like an imposter. Feeling like I was in over my head, that I wasn't qualified to do what I was doing, and just mainly trying to avoid having anyone around me realize that I felt that way. In the worst cases, I barreled ahead with decisions or plans that I had no business making, sometimes dragging other people along for the ride. And the ride did get pretty bumpy a few of those times. But even when it didn't lead to any real problems, I could have avoided so much stress and so much anxiety if I'd just known how to deal with it better. But like so many other things, I guess age and experience have kind of helped me see it in a different way. Instead of trying to hide what I didn't know, I should have been honest about it. If I'd leaned into the feeling of being an imposter and just asked people who knew what I didn't know for help, it would have saved me so much stress. And it probably would have been a lot easier on the people that I dragged along with me for the ride, too. I'm sure you've heard the advice, fake it till you make it. That's pretty much the definition of being an imposter. Wikipedia's page about imposters starts with, an imposter is a person who pretends to be someone else, often through means of disguise, deceiving others by knowingly falsifying one or more aspects of their identity. Fake it till you make it is pretty much exactly that. You're pretending to be someone you're not. Instead of trying to pretend you have everything under control, I like to think of it as being a healthy imposter. Accept that it's okay to be inexperienced and to feel like you're in over your head. Almost everybody feels that way to some degree when they start something new. Be upfront about what you don't know and talk to people who do know it for help and advice. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom. Let's say you're starting a new job, you're managing a team of people who do a job that you've never actually done yourself. Does asking for their advice and input on decisions make you a weaker or a stronger manager? I'd say it makes you stronger. It builds authenticity with your team, and it'll probably help you avoid costly mistakes. You're probably in the job for your management abilities anyway, not because you know the work better than anyone else does. Or let's say you want to become a content creator, maybe right here on YouTube. Instead of feeling like you aren't enough of an expert to help people, acknowledge that you're learning as you go. That's what I've been doing with my first few videos. This channel isn't really about launching a YouTube channel, but I've used it as an example in a few of my first videos. This is mostly new to me, and I don't have all the answers, so I'm learning as I go. And hopefully some of the lessons that I learn will be helpful to you when you hear me talk about them. You may have heard this advice before, but think of it as speaking to someone who's where you were a few weeks or maybe months ago. You're not trying to reach someone who's already several years down the same path that you're on. They're the ones that you can be getting advice from. But you probably have experience that would help the version of you that's just getting started. When you admit what you don't know and stop trying to hide it, you go from pretending to be someone else to being yourself. You go from an imposter to being real. Acknowledging that you're learning and don't know everything stops a lot of the haters too. If you're open about where you are, you don't have to worry about being exposed as a fraud because there's nothing anyone else can expose. You've already shared your situation with people. And when you do have the knowledge and experience down the road, you'll have those early days to look back on as a point of reference. It might mean seeing how far your writing or your videos have come, or it could be stories and experiences that you can share with people that are coming up behind you who have those same feelings that you have right now. So how about you? Are you feeling like an imposter in some part of your life? You've got a choice. You can use that feeling as fuel and lean into the beginner mindset, or you can let the feeling stop you from getting anywhere. The question is, which is it going to be? Thanks for watching, folks. If you're new here, my name's John. I'm working on designing a life that's more aligned with my values, and I'm sharing what I learn along the way. If something in this video struck a chord for you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments down below. I'll see you in the next one.